Hey y'all, welcome back to Black Femme Speaks. I'm your girl Laura D. Alright, so in this video we are going to be discussing Alicia Keys and the whole thing about her son wearing rainbow nails. If you haven't heard, Alicia Keys took her son to the nail salon with her and he wanted to get rainbow nails. And so she's talking about that whole experience and kind of what she learned from that. And I want to play first what she said, and then we're going to come back and unpack.
The other day, I went to the nail salon with Genesis. He's in the chair, and he's like, I want rainbow. So he tells the lady that he wants rainbow colors on his nails. Then she brings all these colors, and she paints each nail a different color. And after he painted his nails, he looked at me and said, Mommy, I don't want this on my nails. And I was like, why? You were so sure you're good. And he was like, people are not going to like it. Can you believe this? 4 years old. He's 4. And he already understands the concept that someone's going to judge him because he chose rainbow color on his nails. And I told him, why? Nobody's going to judge you. They're going to love it. It's so cool. Like, look how creative you are. Look how amazing you had this idea. Stick with it. You chose it. You liked it. You do it. Who cares what anybody else says? And so I said, plus, you know, a lot of guys paint their nails. This is not like some strange thing that you only do. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. So many. And that made him feel better. But it just got me to thinking how completely judged we are all the time. The way I see it is that there is masculine and there's feminine energies inside of us all, you know, and that's period. That's just how it is. And it gets concerning to me that we can't just explore these different sides of ourselves, you know, these different energies that are within us. And even for me, myself, you know, I oftentimes express the masculine energy that's inside of me. And it's very natural to me. That's how I feel. And all the time, if that happens, there's the judgments and there's the stereotypes and there's all the energy that comes toward that. And for my boys, you know, similar. If they want to express the feminine energy that's inside of them, there's all these judgments and all these rules.
I'm going to stop it there. So, first, let me just say, I was reading a lot of comments like on Shade Room and other platforms. A lot of y'all adults are trash, okay? Number one, her son, let me make this note. Her son is 4. At 4 years old, you are not thinking that, oh, this is gay, this is straight, this is, you know, he's 4. So at the moment when the idea popped in his head, oh, I just want to paint my nails rainbow. I like the colors. It was really just about the colors. Like, oh, this would be cool. And I feel like adults put that in children's minds, like, oh, no, you can't do this. Or no, you know, boys don't do this. Or girls don't do that. So, you know what I'm saying? And you are putting that on a child. Now, as she did say, he already knew that, like, oh, people are going to judge me. Because he probably knows that, oh, well, maybe boys are not supposed to wear nail polish. Because, you know, being socialized and being conditioned to think that, you know, if you're a boy, you have to do this. And if you're a girl, you have to do that. I firmly believe in, if it's not harming, like bodily harming, if it's not salacious, if it's not something that's sexually explicit, then I'm not understanding why you can't allow your children to express themselves. Like, I'm not understanding. And it was so many people in the comments saying, oh no, what's happening nowadays? Boys supposed to do this, boys supposed to do that, boys supposed to play football and get their ass kicked. Like, stop it. Stop projecting what you believe should be this or should be that. And first of all, let me just say this. Stop judging people when it comes to adults. Just because someone paints their nails, like if a man paints their nails, or if a man chooses to dress a certain way, or if a woman chooses to dress a certain way, that does not equate to their sexuality and who they choose to be with. We gotta grow up. we got to expand our minds. And, I understand back in the day, whatever. We don't have an excuse now because we know better. And so when you know better, you do better. And I just think that, like, for example, when I was a kid, when I would go to the nail salon and like, oh yeah, you could just get a little manicure or something like that. No acrylics, but I could get a manicure. And I remember I always wanted to get the color red. Like I would just be like, I would just pick a color and like, you know how to say, you just pick a color. And if I picked the color red, my mom or whoever would be like, no, like little girls can't wear red. Like, red is a grown color. Red is a Jezebel color. And to be honest, when you're a kid, I don't understand that. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay. I mean, with red, blue, green, it's all colors to me. You know what I'm saying? And then once that was in my mind, now I'm researching. Now I'm like, well, what is a Jezebel? Okay, what is it? What is I'm not understanding the correlation. So I feel like you even force your kids more to be like, okay, well, why is this a bad thing, or why is this something that you're so caught up about? As children, you all remember that moment where like you say you touch the fire or something and you get popped for it and you're like, okay, what is, you don't understand the correlation. You just know the response, but you don't understand necessarily the correlation. And it's adults putting that onto children when it comes to gender roles and sexuality and things of that nature. And I'm not saying that some children at an early age don't start having certain feelings or emotions, but I do think that it's adults who try to steer them in a certain way or steer them from a certain direction. And it's like, to be honest, your child is gonna be whoever they want to be. You cannot stop that. I see parents all the time who send their kids to the best schools and, oh, I don't want you excuse me, I don't want you doing this, I don't want you doing that, I don't want you hanging out with this person, I don't want you wearing this, I don't want you doing that. And hey, you're the parent, do what you feel like is necessary. But at the end of the day, baby, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but your kids are going to grow up to be who they want to be. You cannot, I mean, there's some parents who, I have heterosexual parents and I consider myself to be queer. So, it's really, you can't, I don't know. It's just, and then on top of that, it's like, what is the big deal? What is the big deal? Like, I just don't understand. Now, I agree with, like I said, if something is sexually explicit, if it's, and that goes for anything, like sexually explicit, if it causing bodily harm, something like that, then I totally agree. But nail colors, and y'all tripping over that? Really? Like, I remember this one guy, this Uber driver, he was like, um, his son was watching, I guess, cartoons, and Spider-Man had came on, and he was like 2 or 3, and he was kissing the screen like, oh my gosh, Spider-Man, I love Spider-Man, and like kissing him. He was like, no, like, don't do that, like, boys don't kiss other boys. And I'm like, that's super trash and toxic. This child is not thinking about at 2, 3 year old, oh, Spider-Man is a boy and I'm kissing a boy. Like, he's showing love and affection to a character that he believes in his mind, I guess, is real, and that he's showing affection. It's not a sexual thing. It's not a romantic thing. It's what as an adult, that you're putting that onto that child, and I just hate that. And I feel like it's so toxic and it's so trash. Like, to tell a child, oh no, don't kiss the screen, don't kiss Spider-Man, because that's, boys don't do that. I'm like, and once I explained it to him, he was like, I have a better understanding now that, it's me as an adult, that I guess you're fearful that your child is showing signs. Even like when they tell little boys, like, say they pick up their mother's heels and they're walking around the house, they're emulating what they're doing. And I'm not saying that there aren't some people who, you know, grow up and once they're an adult and they look back and they're like, oh, okay, you know, I always enjoy wearing my mom's heels, I always enjoy dressing up, all the other stuff. Okay, then I guess you could put the pieces together if that's how you choose. But I don't feel like as a child you're necessarily thinking about that. All you know is that, oh, this is what my mom does. My mom puts on heels, and I love my mom. I look up to my mom, you know, so, okay, let me see what this is about. Children aren't inquisitive. That's what they're supposed to do, you idiot. Be a child. Like, stop. Just stop. I just think it's really, really toxic. And then even like the whole conversation about having gay couples or something like that on TV. You know, I think Sesame Street was talking about, or if they are going to have like their first same-sex couple on Sesame Street, and like people were in uproar. And it's like, I'm not understanding. There's heterosexual couples on Sesame Street. Like, as long as, whether it's a man and man, man and woman, trans, whoever, as long as if it's a kid rated show, as long as there's no adult activity happening on the show, you don't see people kissing and making out and all this other stuff. I'm not as sure as to why people are so up in arms about having characters that reflect real life families, a mom and a mom, or a dad and a dad. Like, I'm trying to understand what is the real issue. And when it all boils down to this, even a conversation with Alicia Keys and her son and the nails, it's like, ask yourself, what are you so afraid of? What are you protecting them from by you saying, oh, my son could never wear rainbow nails? Why? Ask yourself why. Because I hear people say, oh, I'm not homophobic and all this other stuff, but I'm really trying to get down to the root of, well, then why? Because I don't understand. A boy could paint his nails and then also like to play basketball, or paint his nails and also like to play football, or like to do ballet, and, you know, do, like, I just don't understand. There's no one way to be a boy or a girl. And then on top of that, it's like you're stunting their growth, because you should allow your children to express themselves fully. Because let me tell you also, one thing that I know for sure, one thing's for certain and two things are for sure. If you know, try to, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and really, you know, everything that they do, they're trying to express themselves, as long as it's not harmful, and you keep doing that, they are going to do it whether you like it or not. So, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't wear nail polish because boys don't wear nail polish. Well, guess what? They go into Claire's, they get their nail polish, and they put it on at school. Okay, I've heard tons of stories like that where it's like, okay, I can't be myself at home. Well, then bet. I'm going to take it in my book bag. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to be my true self with my nail polish. Wipe it off before I get home, and you will never know. And that's when the secrets start happening. And that's what you don't want as a parent. You want your children to come to you and express to you how they're feeling. Because when they go out into the world and they're hiding it from you and you have no idea, then someone else is going to be doing the parenting that you should have been doing, and you don't even know. Then that could be totally worse and more damaging than what you could have done. So that's my thought on that. I would like to hear y'all thoughts, and follow me on IG at Black Femme Speaks, and let's keep the convo going.